Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Metagame
Metagame Minute. Yeah, oh yeah, welcome.
Your favorite Dungeons and Dragons
Chaotic Amateurs
after show.
We're
going reverse horn order once again. This was a really dense episode. Like, I was taking notes like nonstop, and I filled up like 3 or 4 pages of notes of just like the scenery, the directions, the things that we encountered and did.
I feel like I need to go back and take some notes and
I know,
like really go in depth into shit.
I know.
I'll put the episodes in that link for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to listen to that again. Ball. God, was it you? I don't even remember who caught the was potentially the elves at the waypoint and stuff like that. But like,
yeah,
man,
that was Wolf. Yeah,
even prepping to leave. I don't know. Do you want to take us through the episode a little bit? Because I think you had some things that you were hoping to get done in your absence, or maybe you were just ready to get out and meet Tiernan, which was something that you've been talking and after a lot. And like, here we are, which is really cool. It felt like something we would have had to go really far out of our way to get to before, and I'm really happy that it's kind of just like right here.
My primary focus, basically, since we left the prison, was to find Tiernan.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, he was pretty close when we were at that like school thing before.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's been like a week and a half or so since we've actually traveled here through the wastes and got here.
Yeah.
But yeah, my primary goal has been to meet Tiernan and tell him about the Warforged that have been in prison and have been Frankenstein monstered, put back together, and I'm very excited to actually finally meet him. That's been Ball's goal since like halfway, probably like a quarter of the way through this season, the last season.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to finally meet Tiernan.
Yeah. And it's funny how much of it kind of comes back because we did spend so much time at the chateau, so much time in Tiernan, that like remembering that the Falling Star Inn was there, and also like remembering the hold, like so much happened to us when we were in the hold, so it's really fun to see some of these things circle back around. And
yeah, it definitely seems like things are kind of tying together and wrapping up, and like we're learning new things and exploring new things. I'm just stoked about what's going to happen in the future and what we're going to learn next. And yeah, I need to take more notes.
One thing is that I really, really appreciate, and I know you and I were kind of having like a little push back and forth on our worldly viewpoints from a character perspective, but I really appreciate like your consistency with like Ball's worldview that like, well, maybe these people are just like trying to like go out and like be peaceful and learn things. And like you brought that up with the wizards too, or the mages that were encased in this like stasis field or whatever. Like, well, maybe they're just trying to get away. Like, yeah, I just really appreciated the consistency towards that viewpoint.
Yeah, that's my primary goal with most characters that I play, is I have this ideal that they have in their minds, and that's going to be their main focus throughout all of their lives, is to try to reach that goal. And I love it when I have a character that I can butt heads with. And I felt like Arthur was like, oh, I'm going to bribe the shit out of these elves. And Ball was like, no, they're just traveling and trying to learn shit. Why are you trying to fuck with them?
Yeah, Arthur sees secrets and machinations and dark movements and all the shadows. So he's a little paranoid from his time.
But then there's the Milo side of me that's like, oh, fuck, these guys are probably trying to take our contract and we're going to be really screwed by them later.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to get your perspective on about what Ball actually thinks about these mages encased in this stasis. Like, these people captured you and put you in prison, and here they are, whatever events happened and unfolded that led them to basically cryo themselves to a time where they can wake up and like win the war, is what Arthur's thinking, right? He's like, all right, let's go to cryo when there's a cure for cancer, except the cure for cancer is our key to win this war. Does Ball really think that these people just want to like surrender, or?
Oh, no, not at all. Like, he was kind of leaning towards what Scory was kind of talking about, where this war isn't over and these mages are just kind of fighting their time and shit. But he doesn't like the idea of them just being captured. If the Usama army really wants to end this thing, they should just find a way to kill them. That's kind of more the way he would lean in the situation that's being presented. That's kind of where he's at.
Scory, what about you?
Yep.
I have so many notes. I was taking notes on everybody's stuff, but
that was a funny dig. That made me laugh. Yeah, your war isn't over yet. You fucking, you guys haven't won yet.
Well,
I was like, oh, you motherfucker.
All evidence points to war's still on. So
yeah.
You know,
well, that's what
I kind of wanted to call him out.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to call him out because, by all accounts, like they had a softball lobbed to them, and to me that doesn't say victory. That says things are on hold, which means I kind of wanted to put a little bit of cockiness in there, like you're gonna need us, so treat us better than you are now.
Yeah,
like this mage is gonna bust out of this thing when the time is right, and you're gonna be needing all hands on deck. So maybe just be cool, you know.
I'm also really thinking now that with the directions and the weird things that he gave us in order to get to the Tower of Chaos, that your illusion magic glass that's used in your helmet
and
like,
those
might
elves
come in handy. Yeah,
I am.
They are 100% going to come back and bite us in the ass. Is what I'm thinking personally. I'm sensing like a real Team Rocket vibe.
Oh, yeah, blasting off again. Yep. But I, in terms of Caleb watching the gameplay, I really enjoyed the reconnecting some of the dots of where the inn was and the hold, and seeing all that kind of stuff from the outside was really, really cool.
Yeah,
that's something that I really enjoy. Is something, 30 episodes ago we are now seeing the remnants of.
Yeah, now. What's weird for me is like in my mind's eye, when he was describing like we're out where the inn was, I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't recognize it because we were here at night before. It kind of had that like, even though it was playing this imaginary game. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
And there were creepy people in the woods waiting for us to cross. They were all Warforged, actually. Now that I remember.
Yeah, they were
waiting for us to kind of cross the line of sight before they shot us, but. We sent that poor sucker out.
Yeah.
Who died on our behalf, trying to cross the Warforged line. So
yeah.
God bless him.
For my little segment, I'll just say like I took a lot of notes, and I don't know why, but I was overcome with this weird idea as I was like kind of trying to track the passing of the days as best as I could as we were going along. And I was like, man, it would be so fun to like whip something up between sessions, like a little like journal entry of like Zephyrus, like how he's thinking of time passing and musing and what he's thinking of everybody as we're rolling along on this cart.
You could write it like one of those PBS Civil War writing to your wife at home.
Yeah, exactly. Dear Willem, I am wondering now what Scory Telbrun is thinking when he cooks that god-awful fish meal. I don't know. But anyway, I just think, the whole passing of the train and stuff, like, man, it just felt like, we've obviously been playing like real D&D and we've been doing all that, but like, we haven't really been out in like the wilds yet. And even though we're on a road that's like magic and all this sort of stuff, like, I don't know. It was really special and fun for me. I think the one design that Arthur had was grabbing onto those elves and maybe trying to get some information or something like that. But otherwise, I'm really stoked to be at this like weird base, the 8 tower base. I'm really stoked for all this. Riff, coming in hot. I'm sorry, I'm just glancing over my notes. So if you have anything to jump in with, go ahead, because I have so much. It's all scribbly.
No, I was excited that we finally got on the road. I was excited that we were, now we're here, and I find it interesting, just because I know, and I've shared it with the group, but like, doing my research, that they are very illusionary and illusory. So it's like, that's actually what I was thinking. The whole up, down, left, right thing on an old like Sega game or whatever, like, you have to approach the tower that way, and then also the reason that I personally stepped in and like started talking with Arthur Magnus when you were messing with those people is that yeah, I'm a shadow monk and that sort of stuff. But the way Alex and I've sort of sort of like talked about it and redesigned it is that I'm going to be using, illusionary magic that kind of just comes off as shadow stuff. When it succeeds. And so it's like, I recognize, because I had like a 21 as well. I think Wolf beat me he had a 22 or something like that. So it was like, I recognized the illusion, and I was like, to me, it just didn't make sense to like, because me coming in hot bullshit, like you fucking like immediately went to like, okay, these guys are all against us and I'm going to blackmail you now. And I was like, dude, fuck you.
Oh yeah. Well, I was actually just trying to be like, look, we'll keep your secret, but like, what are you guys doing here? Where are you going?
Yeah, but it didn't come off that way at all. It looked like you.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like I'm going to blackmail you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, blackmail me. Like either like tell me what you want, or I'm going to be like, hey, we got some elves over here.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to get out
that
because
as like
I didn't really get a
like
finish
Riff
my
sort of
sentence
saw
or
that
anything,
as like Riff saw that as kind of like a weak move, honestly, and so she just was like, she stepped in and was like, I don't,
Yeah,
and she would have gone to blows against you guys if you guys would have gone after him more, for sure.
Yeah, I could tell.
And but I do think just because to me, I think sort of similar to Milo, like maybe they're just out here, maybe they're not doing anything, maybe they know that you're sure they can't be out here, but like, so they're just trying to make their way in the world, and maybe they do have a contract, and maybe they are against us, and maybe they will get the money, but so what? That's their job.
Which were all questions that I was hoping to get into by talking to them.
Yeah, Milo definitely thinks that, but Ball is like, yeah, fuck it. They're just out here exploring like the rest of us. What's the big deal?
And does the fact that two of the other team members like are questioning their motives, does that play into it?
Things like hiding and lying about it. It's like, it's just interesting. I just wanted to pull on the threads and see where it went.
Oh, I understand.
Literally everything else.
As a player, I understand. As a character, I was like, I'm not going to let him bully these people that might just be someone that might be trying to make a buck. So,
I mean, you let me bully everybody in the show all the time.
Yeah, but it's changing now. Riff is growing up. It's almost her birthday. She's going to be 12 soon. And
she has become the anti-bully.
Are we going to throw a party?
I hope not. She hates parties.
One thing I wanted to say.
A party.
One thing I wanted to say for Riff's section 2, just to see how far we came in this episode, is that you got that really cool piece of information at the beginning about the 17 scratch marks on the rock, which I thought was really interesting. And just to give you an idea, like that's how far we came. We started with the rock again, and then went all the way through.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like having Strix like do research on it. I did find that interesting. That like there's nothing in the library necessarily, but also Riff still just doesn't think much about it because we already had like the big chateau showdown, if you will,
right?
And so she's like, we got to go out to here and like do something that's going to affect the world, not just
one thing that made me think is when we saw the blue stasis like crystal, was it made me instantly, when I learned that there was mages inside, it made me think of the crystal underneath the house.
Oh,
but
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, but Ball also did like an Arcana check, like there was no magic coming off of it.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's Arcana coming after this one either. I think
it was just something I thought about, especially because he said blue, and then he was like, "I'm running out of colors" or something like that, and I was like, it just made me think like he did pink already, and I was like, oh, I don't know, it just made me connect the dots a little bit on that, and the fact that somebody was in there scratching away. So
yeah, and I'm interested to see if like later on any of the notes that I had taken will be of use to us, like once we get out to the towers and that sort of stuff.
Saving the best for last. Dash is Wolf. Welcome home, Commander.
Welcome to the war again.
Urget seemed to welcome your presence amongst our party. What did you think of our journey out here? What did you think about the elves, and what do you think about this tower base and being surrounded by soldiers of Uzma again?
Well, as usual, obviously, this is different than being, in Tyrlin or the chateau, because now we're in like, this is like, battleground area, right? And so now he's going to be a little more on edge and a little more cautious of everything. So, just because of his experiences with, this area and fighting the wars, he's going to be a little more just kind of keeping his eye out on stuff. And that's why he didn't think that, like, like attacking those guys. Obviously, like it would be kind of a distraction to attack the elves, because like out here you obviously want to minimize enemies as much as possible, right? Because I mean, you only want to fight someone who is absolutely in your way. Because I mean, trying to just stir up stuff when you're in the middle of conflict for no reason, just kind of adds, undue stress to the mission at hand.
But Wolf surely knows that, like, you let an enemy get away and they can alert other enemies that you're there. There's consequences to things like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, that's why he had them tracked, and if they disappear, it's going to be more of like we'll just keep an eye on it, I mean, we could go hunt this thing down. What did you send, Caleb? What is that? I don't want to look at it. I hate it. I hate it.
Do I have to download it? Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Really?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the worst.
It's too much. You're the worst. So anyway, I'd like to just wrap up my metagame minute by saying Caleb is the worst.
I already did my part. I don't really care.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and he Thrakus definitely didn't like Scory and Arthur
challenging.
I wasn't challenging the commander. That was one thing.
No, I wasn't saying. I'm not saying challenging. I was saying that you guys were suggesting that we didn't win the war.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember that
issue.
Thrakus, like men of his died.
Yeah.
Trying to win this war, and now you're saying like, oh, you didn't do a good job. Like, it didn't
metagaming. Metagaming that, I kind of misspoke what I was trying to say to him. Like, I was trying to say, like, surely, like, the tactical brilliance of the army was a big deal, but, like, what was the defining... I was trying to get, like, what was the defining event that won the war? Not just, like, your mighty soldiering, but, like, was it the Battle of the Bulge, or was it, whatever?
Too bad it didn't come off in that way.
Yeah, I know. I just misspoke when I was trying to get it across.
Battle of this bulge. Yeah, no, he took he definitely took offense to that, and he doesn't like challenging the idea of that. I mean, it's like telling a veteran, like, yeah, but did you even win it? They would straight up stalk you in the face.
Yeah, for sure.
So that perturbed him, and that might come into play later. Who knows?
Well, Arthur,
he wrote it down in his journal
for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We open up.
Go
Caleb,
after Arthur.
Yeah, Scory with the black eye.
If
think I won the war, I won the war.
If Wolf ever brings it up and talks about it like an adult might, then Arthur would readily and quickly apologize for the misunderstanding. There's no need to harbor ill will.
You guys are just like walking, and Wolf is just like, we did win that war. I just want you to know that.
Silence for hours.
We were just talking about sandwiches. What are you talking about?
Okay, I needed you to know we won.
Like, not to bring it up again, but
I don't want to bring it up again, but we won.
Maybe we won the war for them by escaping the hold.
Oh.
Ooh.
We broke the magics on the hold. Like, shit, we gotta go into stasis in order to figure out how the fuck these guys escaped.
I think they went into stasis because they were like, did that one guy just build a box ladder and got out of the fucking our magic hole?
They're killing all of our prisoners with a 2x4.
They sold it out of it. It was just so easy.
You know what? Just lock me up. Put me in stasis. I'm done.
I forgot that he got that 2x4 and just beat the crap out of that guy.
That blue guy fell unconscious trying to go under a door.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he can just escape the prison with magic.
I still think about that. You just floating up, like, and then when they captured you, they were trying to put the.
That's right.
You're floating just barely off the ground horizontally, trying to put the manacles on you.
It was only like a 10-foot movement speed or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was really.
You were just like the ground, slow poking along.
Yeah.
If I could have any scene animated from this campaign,
the slowest arrest in history.
That's right. Because Wolf was
down
behind
here, fuck.
both of them too.
Yeah.
And you were saying some pretty smart ass stuff the whole time too. So
naturally.
Yeah.
Good
naturally.
times.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, we'll have to see. I'm interested, honestly, to see it because I did not think about the fact that there was still prisoners in the hold potentially. Like I would have assumed like the war is over because I didn't know how the war ended, you know. So it's like, and they're like, all right, here's a formal exchange of prisoners.
Yeah, POWs get free.
Yeah.
It's not over. That's
Right.
the thing.
Yeah. So that's going to be really. I would love to go back to the hold now that I have some actual power. Break all those boxes. We can take all the foodstuffs when they come out.
Boards for everyone.
Dash, did you have anything to add, or can we see what Alex has to say?
Yeah, you can move on to Alex.
Alex, are we winning your game?
You're trying real hard to win. You're getting points on the board, I'll tell you that.
Why did these wizards go into stasis?
That's a good question.
Damn it.
That is a real good question.
Yeah.
What's the so is it like an actual wait, no.
That's what some of these people are trying to figure out.
And that's why we're gonna go to the Chaos Tower and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
I like that we're this new group coming in and being like, okay, so here's the deal. Even though they've been working on this for who knows how long.
Don't worry,
coming in-
we'll solve it.
Yeah, we're coming in like
got
the
this.
specialists.
I actually really liked Commander Urget. Like he seems like super chill and like jovial and like very competent. So
Until I told him he didn't win.
I still liked him
Yeah.
because he doesn't like you. So that's good enough for me.
Yeah. That's the thing that brings everybody
I was
together.
like, damn,
That's right.
is this dude a
I
Magnus?
don't like scoring. I mean, it's got to be good.
I am excited for this. I'm very excited to see another halfling, and so like this tinkerer halfling weird scientist guy, like based off of my initial impression at the end of this episode.
Yeah,
I think
my
that'll
note
be,
for Professor
I think that'll
Tiernan
be
is
fun.
watch out for explosions. That's what I wrote.
That's a great note. Yeah, I love Ball's thing with that too. It's like, well, yeah, that's how you learn shit, right? And explosions.
Yeah,
I love that.
No, yeah, that
Actually
was a
really
funny
wise.
line. And I'm excited just because I know that he also has like this is the guy that checked out all the books on Aura, right?
Tiernan is, yeah.
Nice. So I'm excited to
that's
talk to him
right,
about
yeah.
that sort of stuff and talk to him about like, you know, sort of like what he may or may not know about like all the illusionary stuff, you know, just because that is like my sort of field of study besides monkeying and that sort of thing. So
I've still got my Warforged parts that I need to show him and tell him about the Frankensteining. Yeah, I'm really excited for this next episode, honestly.
put those
We'll have
parts
to see
away.
if we survive the ballistas, though.
That's right.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's only two of them, so only two of you guys will die.
Yeah.
Except for
Okay.
we were perfectly lined up.
Oh,
the problem.
you were? Okay. Well, that changes things.
Yeah, we were single file. Now it's just going to go right through us.
I can leave existence for a short time, so I think I might be okay, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, this has been our Metagame Minute for what was a packed episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Get it every Thursdays wherever you get your podcast, and we'll see you back here Monday for the continuation of Chaotic Amateurs.